What's going on, my galactic army? It is me, Master of Galaxy Eyes, bringing you guys my long-awaited Rocket Guardragon deck profile. I've been waiting so long to show you guys this deck, mostly because of when waiting for Savage Strike to come out, I've been needing the Guardragons, and just my Rocket deck hasn't been finished, but now all of the pieces have finally come together. The exclusion of one card getting banned, but without any further introductions, this deck is here, so let's just jump right into it. So, first, to start off the main deck, we get 3 Magna Rocket. This is probably the most important rocket of the deck, stating that when a Link Monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card and then send one monster on the field to the graveyard. Really nice effect because it sends, it doesn't target, and so just being able to target this with something like your Borolo Dragon, your Boral Guard Dragon, your Boral Sword Dragon, and then being able to just send any monster on the field to the graveyard is super good. And then all the rockets have an effect of when they're destroyed during the end phase, you'll special summon another rocket from the deck. So let's just get that out of the way right now. And I'll just tell you guys the first effect. So, but 3 Magna Rocket. Next, you get 3 Metal Rocket Dragon. He says, let me pull him up here for you guys. So, when a Link Monster's effect is activated, the targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, destroy, and destroy all cards in your opponent's card in the same column that this card was in. And then, obviously, when this card's on the field destroyed, special summon a rocket from your deck. So, Metal Rocket, super good, just being able to destroy cards in the same column that he was in when he's destroyed. Just another really good rocket monster. I find him super important, so I run 3 of him. And then 3 Auto Rocket Dragon. Auto Rocket, in case you guys can't read it, says when a Link Monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, destroy this card and then send a spell and trap card on the field to the graveyard. So, spell and trap removal for the deck built into a monster, and since you just constantly want these guys destroyed, or you want them to destroy themselves with their card effects, to get those effects off, just really nice back removal. I run 3 Auto Rocket. I run 2 Shell Rocket Dragon. Shell Rocket Dragon's effect says that when a Link Monster's effect is activated, it targets the face-up card, blah blah blah. Destroy this card and destroy one monster that the same column that this card was in. Oh, and yeah, if this card is destroyed, then special summon a rocket from your deck. So, Shell Rocket, just kind of a quick pop effect, not as good as Metal Rocket, which is why you run 2 of this. And since it only does 1 card, I run 2 Shell Rocket. And then I run 1 Anist Rocket Dragon. Anist Rocket Dragon says, you can destroy him when blah 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 targeted. You can make a face-up monster on the field unable to attack and has its effects negated. So I find him super important, but he's not as important as some of the other cards that you want to run in the deck. So I just run the 1 Anista Rocket, just for another rocket name, and just because I really wanted to try to keep this deck as like rocket based as possible, sort of how similar to how Revolver in the anime does. Because while I have not watched the anime, my friend Delta Player on the Scrub Squad, which you should totally check out, he watches the anime a lot. And so just hearing about it from him, I really have loved rockets since he told me about it. And so I want to try to keep that theme going. And then 2 new cards from Savage Strike. I run 1 Rocket Synchron, whose effect is when this card is normal summoned, target a level 5 or higher dark dragon type monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense, negate its effects, and destroy it during the end phase. And you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. That's not an issue. And to go along with Rocket Synchron, also run 1 Speed Burst Dragon, which also came out in Savage Strike. It says when you take effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand and inflict damage to your opponent. He basically just Burns your opponent for damage, and then you gain life points equal to half the damage you inflict. And when this card's tribute summoned, you can add 2 rocket monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. So he just kind of searches. More than likely, you're not going to get that effect off. But you run these so that you can go into the new Borreload Savage Dragon. And then just some other Dark Dragon support cards we have in the deck. We run 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, able to special summon a dragon from your hand or graveyard, and you're able to free special summon him by just banishing a dragon on the field. 1 Destrudo the Lost Dragon's Frizzen. Pay half your life points, special summon this guy by targeting a level 6 or lower monster to make him a level 4 or below for some of the, like the guard dragons and all that. And just another free special summon for another dragon. I run 2 Gateway Dragons. Gateway Dragon, for those that don't know, says if your opponent controls a link monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can also special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn. And once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dark Dragon type monster from your hand. So he's a great like starter card, kind of. You don't run 3. You can, but I don't run 3. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It was just, I wanted to run other cards in the deck to just try to have a little more fun, I guess. But I run 2 Gateway Dragon. I run 2 Hibernation Dragon. This guy's a little interesting just because he says that if this card is normal or special summoned, you target a level 4 or lower dragon type monster in your graveyard and you add it to your hand. And while you control no link monsters except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it and target a dragon type link monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So if your entire board gets wiped and this is in your graveyard, you can banish it, summon back a Borreload Dragon, which is pretty nice. I run 1 Triggering Worm. Notice a lot of the gun-based stuff in this. If this card is sent to the graveyard as link material for a link summon of a dark monster, special summon this card from your graveyard and attack to a zone that that link monster points to, but it cannot be used as a link material. If this card is destroyed or banished by an effect activated by a link monster, you draw a card. So it kind of sucks that you can't use them for a link summon. However, now because of Borreload Savage Dragon, you could potentially go into him with him after you revive him. So pretty nice. I still run him. I might take him out. Who knows? And then for the last 2 monsters of the deck, I run 1 Background Dragon and 1 Defrag Dragon, just for more dark dragon type names. Background Dragon because he's a 5, and then you get like with Triggering Worm you get 6, 7, and then you use the new Rocket Synchron to go into Borreload Savage Dragon, and then Defrag Dragon is just a free special summon. So those are the monsters of the deck. On to the spells and traps. I run 3 World Legacy Guard Dragon. This card's just super important, especially with the Guard Dragons and just this deck in general, because this allows you to just revive your rockets from the graveyard to go into more link summoning plays, and just being able to manipulate your zones is super important. 2 of the field spell Boot Sector Launch. This card is super good, just because forget about the like gaining effect. You're able to special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your hand to defense, and then if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard and defense up to the difference of you and your opponent's monsters. So just super good card. It helps you get those rockets on the field for your link summoning plays. I love that field spell. 2 Boral Regenerator. I don't really see too many people running this, I think. But it's an equip spell, and it says activate this card by targeting a rocket monster in your graveyard, and you special summon it and equip it, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard because the equip monster was destroyed, you get to draw a card. So super, super nice. Just being able to bring back your rocket monsters, and then when they get destroyed, you get to draw a card, and then during the end phase, those rocket monsters will special summon more rocket monsters. It's just, I love it. I love Boral Regenerator. I played it 2. And then you play 3 Quick Launch and 2 Squib Draw. Quick Launch says that special summon a rocket monster from your deck, but it can't attack and destroy it during the end phase. And then Squib Draw just says that you target a rocket monster you control, destroy it, and then draw 2 cards. So just both of these cards are super important. Quick Launch, just because you're able to get a rocket directly from your deck onto your field. And then Squib Draw is just you're able to draw more cards. And then obviously when the rockets are destroyed, again, special summon from the deck. So these 2 cards, super important. And then on to the last of the spells, I get 1 Dragon Shrine, descend your dragons, 1 Foolish Burial, descend your dragons, and then a Monster Reborn to revive your dragons. Just very generic dragon support, just built into the deck, just really nice. And then on for the last 2 cards, they're trap cards actually. It's a Link Turret. I play Link Turret because it says that when this card's activated, you place 4 counters on it, and then each time you take battle damage, you place another counter on it. During the main phase 2, you can remove 1 counter from this card, target a rocket monster in your graveyard, and special summon it, but its effects are negated, and also banish it when it leaves the field. So, with this card, and because it's continuous, you could potentially summon out a Borolo Dragon, or just one of your Link monsters. Like, you can just keep using this to revive all of your rockets and just keep Link climbing up, or just summoning out more powerful Link monsters, which is why I run this. You could obviously cut this card out because it's trap, and if you want to play spells or just something else, obviously you can do that. It's whatever. On to the extra deck. This is where the Guardragons come in, and just the rest of the like Boroload, and I also run the Topologic Dragons in this deck. So we get 1 Guardragon LP, 1 Guardragon Pisty, and then 1 Guardragon Agar Pain. These guys are just absolutely insane. They have the downside effect normally to where you can only special summon dragon type monsters, but in this deck that's not a problem because every single monster that you're playing in this deck is a dragon. So you basically have no restrictions by summoning these guys. And then LP special summons dragons from the deck or hand, Pissy special summons from the graveyard or banished, and then Agar Pain special summons a dragon monster from your extra deck, which is just absolutely insane. Just summoning out any of the Guardragons, just helping you summon out more of your monsters and just climbing up that Link Tower is just absolutely insane. Besides the Guardragons, I run 1 Twin Triangle Dragon. I run 1 Mini Boral Dragon, Twin Burst Dragon, Vorticular Drumgun, and Flash Charge Dragon. All of these dragons right here, to be honest, don't really have too much importance into the deck, just because like Flash Charge Dragon, you're not able to special summon or set monsters to the zones he can't point to, so you can't like kaiju your opponent's monsters, but you don't run any. And if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can destroy it and then inflict 500 damage to your opponent. And then when a card effect is activated, target this card, you contribute a monster, negate the activation. Like, with Flash Charge Dragon, Vorticular Drumgun, if this card is special summoned, you draw a card. That's basically it. If this effect resolves, the unused monster zone this card points to cannot be used for the rest of this turn. Triple Burst Dragon, just battle negation, basically. Mini Boral Dragon. If you control a Boral Link monster while this card's in your graveyard, you contribute a Link 3 or lower monster special summon this card, but it can be used as material for a Link summon of a monster with the same Link rating as the attributed monster. And then like Twin Triangle Dragon is when this card's a Link summoned, you can pay 500 life points to target a level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone this card points to. With all of these effects, they're really nice to go into, and they have nice effects that you can get off. However, if you honestly wanted to replace them to make the deck a little more competitive, very much highly recommended. The only one I guess you could possibly keep in is these 2, but these 3 definitely you could replace with something else. Maybe honestly play with the Nightmare package. I play with these just because they're all dragons and you're able to go into them even with the Guardragons on the field or with special summoning, and you don't have any of the restriction. But on to the monsters that I find super important that I really like is we'll start off with Topologic Bomber Dragon. If you guys don't know what Bomber Dragon does, is whenever you special summon a monster, or whenever a monster is special summoned to a zone he points to, he destroys all monsters in the main monster zone. And then he also has a bonus effect down here, that if this card attacked an opponent's monster, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack after damage calculation. So just super good for just hitting your opponent and then just making them take massive amounts of damage. I love Topologic Bomber Dragon. Next, I play Topologic Trishbana. Topologic Trishbana says that if a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you banish as many of those monsters as possible and as many spell and traps on the field as possible, and then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each of the cards, their cards banished by this effect. So, again, similar to Topologic Bomber Dragon, instead of destroying cards in the main monster zones, Trishbana banishes all spells and traps on the field, and then inflicts damage to your opponent for each of theirs destroyed. So Topologic Trishbana is just super good against things like Sky Strikers or Altergeist, if you're able to just... Honestly, if they already have all their stuff activated, you can use Trishbana just to try to clear out their spells and traps. Next, this is supposed to be a Boral Sword Dragon for just keep the Boral continuation going in the deck. I run a Boral Guard Dragon. Boral Guard Dragon's kind of okay. He's pretty important. He can't be destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, you can send one card from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard to special summon from either graveyard to your field one monster that was destroyed and sent there this turn. So if he attacks your opponent's monster and destroys it, you can special summon it to your field. And once per turn, quick effect, you can target a monster on the field, change it to face-up defense position, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this effect activation. So very similar to Boral Dragon and Boral Sword Dragon, where your opponent can't activate effects in response to that effect, the targeting effect. And just if your opponent actually did have something strong enough to take your Boral Guard Dragon, just being able to just stop it right then and there, super nice. I play one Boral Dragon. Obviously, Boral Dragon gets around problematic monsters and being able to lower monsters' attacks, or just being able to use his effect to target your rockets to just get other effects off is super nice. The newest guy right here, Boral Savage Dragon. I absolutely love him. Just being able to negate anything that your opponent does by equipping a monster to him. For example, like you can equip him with your Boral Dragon or your Boral Guard or any Link monster really, and just being able to have effect negation, super really good. And then obviously for fun duels, he got banned. If you want to play him for fun, you can. Obviously, if you use the spot for something else you want to play in the deck, just to actually be able to play it in tournaments. Topologic Gumblar Dragon. He's banned, but still have him for fun duels. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really lets me know that you support the channel. If you want to see more videos by me, make sure you click the video here at the top. Or if you want to see what YouTube recommends that you should be watching, click the video down here at the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the Galactic Army, and I will see you all in the next video. So, peace out.